Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Volko Audio QG equalizer plugin. Let me say up front that Volko Audio was kind enough to send me a not for resale license to review their plugin, but this is not a sponsored video, and as always, I'm going to give my objective opinion without any outside influence. Now, normally I do these long, in-depth video reviews for different audio plugins. This time around, I just want to get to the audio and then tell you guys my impressions after you take a listen. First up, kick drum. And that kick drum was recorded with an Audix D6 microphone. Next up is another kick drum. This one, however, was recorded with an AKG D112. And in comparison to IK Multimedia's plugin, which is based off of the same hardware, Alright, moving on to a snare drum. Another good thing that the hardware equivalent is good at. Alright, next up, bass guitar, another instrument that this equalizer loves. And we have trumpet and saxophone. Yet again, another instrument that engineers typically use with this equalizer. And here we have a real guitar cabinet, in this case a Marshall JCM 800. Again, I will compare it to the IK Multimedia equivalent plugin, switching back and forth. Moving on, we have another electric guitar. This time, I'm going to have 3 different plugins, all right? Because this is my true test these days. As you guys know, I love Acustica audio plugins. I am not shy about that bias, but I definitely wanted to hear what this thing could do in comparison. First of all, I'm going to use the QG, because that's what this plugin review is about, not this other one, alright? But we'll get to that in a second. So this is the QG, and what I was able to do with this lead electric guitar solo track. Alright, now, this is the comparison. Volko Audio also has two other equalizer plugins available, the QA and the QB. I really like the pink equalizer in B mode on electric guitars. So, actually let me start on pink first. Because everybody knows acoustic audio plugins sound really good. Well, again, my opinion, but I share my opinion with many other people. So, here's pink. Now QB. Notice the settings are all equal. And then we have one last track that I want to put QG through. And this is a distorted electric guitar. Alright, so, like I said, I wanted to wait until the end to tell you guys my impressions of this plugin, and that is, wow, especially on the pink comparison. Now I will tell you this, at first I had the plugin's preamp set to EQ, and the reason for that is because I noticed that QB and QG have a very clean, transparent type of sound compared to a real hardware equalizer. That's not necessarily a bad thing, that is just what it is. So I figured the EQ preamp would be the closest to this. Nope! To my surprise, putting it on pre-mode, which I believe engages the microphone preamp into the circuitry of the sampling of the hardware, that closer matched to Volko Audio's plugin. I was shocked. I was also shocked by how close these two plugins sounded. Now, maybe your ears are better than mine, maybe you're listening on a better speaker than I am, but you can do the comparison for yourself because this plugin is available for a free trial along with Pink, and you can do your own shootouts, but holy crap, this plugin, which eats up a fraction, a super tiny fraction of the RAM and a fraction of the CPU power of Pink, sounds pretty damn good. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by how quickly I was able to dial in the equalizer, which is very characteristic of API equalizers. That's why you guys saw me in the API tour video gushing about their equalizers, because no matter the instrument track, API stuff sounds good. Well, this is not officially branded API, but don't be confused by the GUI. Even though it doesn't look like the hardware, like the IK Multimedia version, and the pink does a little bit, but more so the IK. Don't be confused because the GUI looks a little sterile. I'll just be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. I definitely wasn't a fan of it before they added the resize feature, which, by the way, you guys who have 1440p or 4K monitors or above, you guys are going to love this plugin because I cannot even adjust the size, or really the scale slider right here. If I press scale, it tells me my display is not large enough. This plugin is huge. I love that. I love the fact that it can be this big, or it can be smaller for you guys on laptops. So yeah, everything's covered. You can't resize it exactly how you want it, but the 3 sizes I think are good enough. Now, as I said before, the way you should think about this plugin, the QG, not the QB, is it is a clean equalizer with API curves. And unlike the other plugins, you see what I can do? It's not 2 decibels, it's not 1 decibels, it is tenths of a decibel precision, which is something that you can't get from the hardware clones. Now, was this plugin perfect? Absolutely not. When I hover over a control, I expect the value to pop up at some point. That doesn't happen. Now, I'm pretty sure Volko can change that, and after they see this video, they probably will. So I'm going to anticipate that that problem will be fixed because they fixed the GUI size problem. And my other criticism is that this plugin is not in price alignment with the competition. But that's up to Volko. It is something for them to reconsider because some people will say, oh, well, this is $10 more. I'm going to go with the cheaper version. Even though I would say that this, based on the pink comparison and based on the earlier EQ-PG comparison, this is right up there with IK, but with a cleaner tone and less RAM usage and less CPU usage. So for those reasons, it's a better plugin. Again, not everybody's going to like the GUI. I completely understand that. I think this GUI is a little bit better, but I can get used to this because it uses 0.1% of CPU in comparison to like 1% or 1.2. The only thing I would wish for them to add to this is maybe the filter in their QA plugin. But that's really a minor complaint. I mean, really, like this plugin, it works. I got great results relatively quickly, and I'm happy with it. So I would recommend this if you're in the market for an API style plugin. If you want to save some money, get all 3, because I'm not sure how many times I've said this, but the pink equalizer is my main go-to equalizer plugin, and this plugin is right up there with it without eating up RAM. So if CPU and RAM are big considerations for you, this is the plugin to get along with the QA and the QB. Although you're going to spend more money than pink, it might be cheaper than buying more RAM or upgrading your processor. So decisions, right? Again, you can try this plugin out, I believe, for 30 days to decide for yourself if you want it or not. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.